Well, our next stop on John Miller's Road of Life podcast, Mr. Ross Allen, Canadian Navy veteran, correct?
Yeah.
How many years were you in the Canadian Navy there, Ross?
11 years altogether.
What rank were you?
Leading seaman.
Sorry, what was that again?
Leading seaman.
Leading seaman?
They changed the name of that recently for obvious reasons. There you go.
Yeah, I guess. Okay, so starting off, where were you born and raised? And
I was born in Summerside, Prince Edward Island.
okay,
Raised in Village Green for the most part, I guess. Village Green, Prince Edward Island.
so Prince Edward Island, PEI,
Yep.
That's in Canada. That's off the eastern coast of Canada.
Yep.
Right.
Beautiful place to grow up. And, in the 70s, there wasn't the internet and stuff like that, so people played outdoors and your kids.
What year were you born?
I was born in 71.
1971.
Yeah.
Same year I was born. All right. So you went to junior school and high school like everybody else?
Well, not really like everybody else. I'm sure that I had the borderline personality disorder as a child, young child. Looking back, I'm thinking the evidence is there. So, so when I say not like other kids, no, I was in a fight pretty much at least one fight a day.
So you were a scrapper?
Every day of elementary school.
In elementary school.
Yeah.
Where'd you go to high school?
High school, I went to Charlottetown Rural, which was at that time called the Charlottetown Rural Redmond, but they changed the name due to politics. But it's still Charlottetown Rural High School, I believe, but it's no longer the Redmond anymore.
Okay. So you grew up and then after high school, what'd you do after high school?
I joined the Army Reserve. I was Armored Reconnaissance for Prince Edward Island Regiment, and done my basic training in Gagetown for the most part, and done QL1 and QL2 there. I was spent a lot of time in Gagetown there.
So Gagetown's in New Brunswick, here in New Brunswick, Canada.
Yeah, just outside of Fredericton.
Outside Fred. And you were part of that, and then from there?
From there, I joined the Navy Reserve, and then done my 11 years from there. I went out west and worked as a pipe fitter after.
Out west. So you're 11 years in the Navy.
Yeah.
Did you spend a lot of time at sea?
I had over 2,000 hours logged in the generator room. So yeah, fair bit.
2,000 hours. That's a long time, man.
Well, that was just that's the log stuff. Yeah.
So what countries did you see in that time?
Just Canada and U.S. Yeah, I was a sandy bottom sailor up and down the coast. Yeah, so
up and down the coast.
Yeah.
Any major deployments?
No, nothing too overly exciting. There's no record of it anyway, so.
So you were just assigned to patrolling the coastlines?
What?
So you were assigned to patrolling the
Yeah,
coastlines.
we were just coastal defense. So most of what they were doing was training officers how to maneuver the ships and right. So it's using the smaller size ships to train them so that they can be captain of a larger ship. Basically, is what was. So we were more of a training platform.
So you guys were you guys on a destroyer or a frigate, or what were you on?
Patrol boat.
Patrol boat, yeah.
Yeah. So I started on, there's the 5 patrol boats, the Fundy class. I sailed on pretty well all of those at one time anyway, for a short period of time. Most of my time I was on HMCS Chignecto. And then on the East Coast, it was the Kingston class ships. They were the Kingston and the Glace Bay and the Shawinigan. I think that's pretty much.
So I guess we could say that Canada's Navy is divided into the Atlantic side and the Pacific Ocean side.
Well, that's our main focus, really. Yeah. I mean, it's Navy, so it makes sense that you're protecting the coast.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, massive country like Canada.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
do you guys ever get to go through any like canals or anything, or you ever go through the locks or anything?
oh yeah, actually, I missed out on the decommissioning of Chignecto, and they went around what they call going around the Horn. So you go all the way down to South America and back up instead of going through Panama Canal.
They don't go through the Panama Canal?
Well, usually they do, but that's why I say for this year when it would have been a special trip because it was the decommissioning trip. So,
excellent.
But I would have liked to have been part of that. But
do they ever swap the ships out between Pacific and Atlantic? Like, do they ever switch places?
Probably.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm sure. Yeah, I know they do. I know the buddy of mine was on the Onondaga, and they went through Panama and up to the other side. So yeah, they definitely do. Yeah.
Excellent. That's excellent. Do they ever do any inland travel like the Welland Canal or anything like that?
I never did.
You never did.
I'm sure they
probably do. And the submarines can probably go places where the ship don't go.
Yeah, and the thing is, submarines, they don't usually broadcast where they're going.
Mm-hmm.
Just the nature of the
security.
Idea is, yeah, the idea is that it's it was early stealth, really.
Mm-hmm.
And so the idea is they don't want you to know that they're there, right? So excellent.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So 11 years doing that. That must have been something, huh?
That's part of this whole disorder is while I was doing it, it was hell.
Mm-hmm.
Looking back, I have great memories.
Mm-hmm. You've mentioned your disorder a couple of times. What disorder do you have again, just for clarity?
It's a borderline personality disorder.
You feel you had that since childhood?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's when I don't know if you have the ability to put links and stuff, but if you do, then you should put the symptoms and stuff because it explains a lot of what happened throughout my life, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because one of the tendencies is like I was just watching a video on it, and they were saying common things are you feel your emotions much deeper than everybody else, right? There's a part of the brain, I forget what it's called, but he listed on that in people like myself, that's a different size than most people's, and as a result, you feel things much more intense. So if somebody says something that makes me mad, instead of getting a little bit mad, most people are like, it takes them 10 seconds to get mad. Me, I'm immediately mad. And for most people, it'd be, they're over it an hour later. Me, it can take days. Right? That the kind of thing. So, and then another thing that was in the video that I found interesting was they'll show pictures of people that some are smiling, right? And then other ones are frowning with anger, right? And the extreme 1 would be the smile and 10 would be the frown, right? Most people can't distinguish in the middle. Like, say, if that was 100, right? Most people distinguish the anger face at about 70, right? People with my condition notice at 30. And I found that quite significant, right? You're that hyper vigilant. So when I walk into a room, I'm noticing the facial expression of everybody in the room. And if even one person in that room looks upset, I assume I'm the reason, right? That's part of the condition. But anyway, it's horrible.
Would you say your trauma would be since childhood, or would it be later on in life?
Well, the thing is, the first thing that was significant with the trauma that it's documented, kind of thing, is I was 3 years old, and one of my neighbors threw a pop bottle at a car because we were trying to get into it to play, cops and robbers or whatever, and when I was trying the door handle to open it, this kid threw a bottle and it shattered and it split my head open, and I had 20 some stitches in my forehead, and you can still feel the dent where it went into the skull, and it caused damage, right? And I don't know if that's what caused this. And I asked my doctor that, and she said it could be, but how do you really prove it at this stage? So, the fact is, I do have that disorder, but the thing about that was, at 3 years old, the kid that threw the bottle hid in his room for a week and wouldn't come out because he was scared I was going to kill him. And what's even weirder about that is the parents took it serious enough that they let him.
That they what?
That they let him do that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? None of the parents stopped that. So how violent was I?
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like, and that was encouraged throughout my life. I was encouraged by one of my parents, basically, that, you had to be more monster than the other people.
Mm.
Right? If anybody attacks you, you need to be able to stop it. Right? And that was always my filter for what is an attack then.
Mm.
Right? If it is basically where the problem is. Right? So then as a result, I internalized everything. Right? So there's different types of this disorder. And for me, I take the aggression and the anger and turn it inward. And that's why, I've been plagued with suicidal thoughts and really low self-worth.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, you have trouble keeping relationships and making relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And you learn to fake it, right? So you can appear normal, right?
Yeah.
And you can make that initial relationship. That's why most of your relationships wind up being very short term, right? We tend to go from one relationship to the next because it's like, oh well, she wasn't the answer for me, so this one is the answer, and this one, and then you wind up pretty much idolizing the person, right? And whenever they don't deliver your ideal picture of them, which they can't, no person can, right? Right? The only person that can do that is Jesus.
That's right.
What happens then is it's like, oh yeah, well I'll show you, and it turns to hate, right? So right, and that's why most relationships end in a fight and they go their separate ways, right? And it's horrible, but I guess there is treatment, and I'm going to try to see what we can do to fix this kind of thing.
Mhm.
But it's.
So you mentioned you went out west
Sorry.
and you did some working,
Yeah.
and out there you did a number of things for a living, did you? Western Canada.
Yeah, not that many different things. I mean, I was looking for work, so once I finally found some steady employment with Weatherford Global, then I've basically done pipe fitting for the most part.
Pipe fitting, eh? Yeah.
Yeah. You know,
That could be heavy work, eh?
yeah, that's hard in the body. It can be. I found the worst of that was I crave social interaction, right? Even though I'm not good at it.
Mm-hmm.
But with that, you spent 95% of your time down in a hole with nothing to talk to but your pipe wrench, right? Yeah, you know. So they say you go a little squirrely. Well, you literally will talk to a squirrel if there happens to be one.
If they're down in the hole with you.
Yeah. So it's
So you're out there how many years?
I went out and back a couple times there, but altogether it was probably about a 10-year period that I
10-year period.
Yeah, that was out and around there, that kind of thing. And then yeah, I got into a little bit of trouble there and stuff like that, and just hanging around with some pretty rough crowd and stuff like that, and done some things that I'm not proud of and don't really want to talk about. But needless to say, it was not a better part of my life. Then I moved back to, and again, that's another this pattern with the you know is there because you'll make friends, but it's surface, right? Anybody that tries to get close, that you let them get so close, and then it's like, altercation. Got to end this. Don't want anybody to really know who I really am because I don't like me, so they won't like me either. Don't let them get too close, right? So then I moved back to the island and
PEI, Prince Edward Island.
Prince Edward Island. Yep.
Canada's East Coast.
East Coast Canada. Yep. And that's when I met Cal Maskery from Harvest House Ministries. Great guy. No longer with Harvest House Ministries, but he's with Shekinah Go, and he's still a great guy and still doing ministry. What can I say? That through that ministry, I came a long way and actually was living as close to normal of a life as I probably will be ever able to get to. And I don't say that lightly. I was able to be at a place where I met my first wife, and we were able to raise a family. And
what was her name again?
Jamie.
And how many kids did you have?
Just the two.
A boy and a girl?
Yeah.
What are their names?
Ben and Lily.
Excellent.
And great kids. They both had stuff to deal with. Namely, cystic fibrosis was the major one. That and the father that has.
So your son has cystic fibrosis?
Both my children.
Both of them have cystic fibrosis.
Yeah.
Wow.
But they.
Now, what kind of disease is that?
That is a horrible, life-threatening disease. Is what that is.
The lungs?
It mainly affects the lungs. Is the problem that usually results in fatality with most people is what it does to the lungs, but it also affects your pancreas and can affect your sexual organs. It's more of a, it deals with the way the salt transfers from the cell, and so anything with a mucus membrane, any cells that have that, it'll cause them not to behave properly. So the salt can't transfer through the cell wall, It can't break down the mucous
Okay.
membranes
Yep.
in your lungs. You can't cough it out. It's too thick. Right. Same with so for men, they can't transfer sperm same way. So they're not actually infertile. They just can't get the seed
Out.
there. Right.
Mhm.
But there's they
Is that
hit,
genetic? Is it?
yes, it's a genetic mutation. Both parents have to be carriers of the genetic mutation in order for it to become
Are
a
there any
gene. If
cures
you
available?
understand your genetics, and you know
So
what I mean by
treatments, cures.
that. Yes, there's quite a few treatments, and while they're not labeling it as a cure, it is a extremely good treatment. They come out with some drugs now. One of them is called Trikafta, and I don't. There's another one. I can't remember which one they're on now, but it seems to be working very well. It basically stops the symptoms, and so they start transferring this all through their cells at a cellular level. So it causes them to be symptom free, and they're living as normal a life as anybody does. So that's as close to a cure as I could ask for.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And actually, their grandfather, Doug, he done a lot of work. He's very sick right now. He's looking for a kidney, but he done a lot of work to, like, talking with doctors and the medical board of New Brunswick to get that as a treatment here in New Brunswick. So
I think it was your son that I saw sing once.
Yes.
What a beautiful singer. He's a wonderful singer, that boy. What a talent.
Yeah, yeah. And actually, well, my ex, she's got like a recording artist voice. She's beautiful
Mm-hmm.
voice. And
I've seen her sing too.
my
Very good
daughter as
singers.
well has a very, very nice voice. Actually, she sang, her and her best friend sang "O Canada" for the graduation last night.
Excellent.
Yeah.
That's excellent. That's
Yeah.
excellent. Talent runs in the family, I guess.
Yeah, I don't seem to have much. I think they get their musical talent from their mother, who
Well,
has quite a bit of it.
I'm sure the father has some gifts too and talents. Um,
Yep, fair enough.
so you got married and the two kids, and how long were you married?
17 years, 16 years,
Quite a
17
while.
years, 17 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And during that time, you started driving bus for the city of Moncton.
Yes, actually, very early into it. I think we were married for about 2 years then. And yeah, it started at Kodiak. So
And how long did you drive city bus?
20 years altogether. Well,
Wow.
19 and in some months, but they let me stay employed and finish my
Yeah.
tenure or whatever.
20 years.
Yeah.
Pension. Yeah. Good stuff.
So,
And so when did you leave the bus driving?
with that, it was I had an episode of depression
Mm-hmm.
and just come back to work after that, and there was a altercation on the bus
Mm-hmm.
where um it was a misunderstanding that went horrible wrong rather quickly. The young lady got on the bus and just didn't understand her fare box, right? So
Mm-hmm.
she went to tap her fare and then walked away, but it didn't ring. So I tried to get her attention, and I reached and I grabbed her jacket. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty strong and pretty fat, so I stayed put, and she kind of got jerked back because she was walking forward, and she hit the roof.
Oh my.
She did not like that. I don't know what she went through in the past,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm sure she went through something. Judging by the reaction, because it was like I
Yeah.
totally attacked her, right? And
Yeah.
so she was quite upset.
Yeah.
And was wanting to charge me with assault, and I'm like, well, so I called supervisor. They called the police. Police showed up. Because I did touch her without her permission, that is considered assault. So I was charged with assault, had the handcuffs put on me for the first time, and that told me, yep, I am the monster that I always thought I was.
Mhm.
That's hard to get over. Thankfully, she was not physically harmed in any way, and the judge realized that, and I wasn't sentenced to anything that was very harsh. I thought the punishment fit the crime quite well, kind of thing, and I think even the young lady was happy with the outcome, kind of thing. So,
Which was
what?
so. How did it go?
Well, I wound up not having to do any time. I had write a letter of apology and make a donation to women's shelter,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, and that was pretty much it. So there's no record of it on file now or anything like that.
You don't have a record. Oh, that's good.
No, but which is weird because I mean I've done some pretty violent things in the past that I never wound up being charged for or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a lot of guilt for that.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the things that I've done, I heard people pretty bad at times.
So you are divorced, are you?
Yeah.
When did that happen?
Just before COVID, as a matter of fact.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. During COVID, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, really. Yeah. I moved out, and then we were just trying to establish visitation rights and stuff, and it's like, okay, well, you can't visit anybody. It doesn't matter what, right? And we
Because
never,
of COVID, yeah.
yeah, and as a result, it wound up being. Ooh, I tried getting a place where I could have joint custody, but the way the custody thing went was she wouldn't agree to the time schedules. So it's like, okay, well, either I'm paying child support or we have joint custody. I can't pay child support and pay for a 3-bedroom house. You know, I not in today's society. Even though I did have a good job at the time, but I mean, just financially, it couldn't be done. So I said she's a better mother than I am a father, so the kids can stay there and I'll pay the child support, and that's what most men do. So I figured the right thing to do, and because I'm not good at keeping and maintaining relationships, I find yeah we're not close anymore, and that I really have a hard time with that. So this is part of my apology. I want people to understand what the sickness is like, and that it's not intentional.
Yeah. You do have a girlfriend now, though.
I have a fiance now.
Good for you. Congratulations.
Yeah. And that's it's funny. The video I was watching was on dating when somebody that has this disorder,
Mm-hmm.
or can you date if you have this disorder? And it's a nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Is there medication for it?
well, that's just it. No, there's medication that they can use, like if you're going through depression or something like that, like to treat some of the symptoms that are associated with it.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no known
Mm-hmm.
because it's a personality,
Mm-hmm.
right? Right. So a lot of people will confuse this with being a sociopath, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's that'd be the borderline part. It almost is,
Mm-hmm.
right? But it is a narcissistic. Everything's about me, right? And trying to find out who you are. I think that's the biggest thing. Is at the core of it is you don't know who you are or what operating system you should use,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because everything you tried so far has not worked.
Early in this interview, you mentioned Jesus Christ. Where are you with him?
Actually, that's about the only reason why I'm still together is that I do have a faith, and
In Jesus.
yes, and that's brought me back several times. Yeah.
Okay.
Um, I don't know if you want to get into any of that or not, but
It's up to you.
well, you're welcome to ask me about anything you want. But it's I find I dwell on stuff that people don't want to talk about.
Mm-hmm. Oh, this is your story.
Um, um, no, I don't want to talk about that.
Okay.
Sorry.
So, present time, you have a fiance,
Yep.
and you're still living in the Greater Moncton area, and life is going on, and the road of life continues.
Yeah. No, I was going down to Harvest House as part of this treatment because I was pretty low, and I thought, well, even if I can just I find when I'm just around people that are in the Word and stuff, I find that I don't know, it's like it fertilizes the crop or something. I don't know.
Yes, yes.
Um, and part of it is also I'm learning to make even short term relationships is better than not
Yes,
knowing how to make a relationship at all.
yes.
Um, but I need to get back there. I think that's going to be part of my treatment. We joked about it
Yes.
that I'd love to be able to make that my job. Is
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Do you attend church, do you?
yes, yeah.
All right.
We
You
go
find
to
that's fulfilling?
yeah. Well, I find I need more than just the Sunday. You know, nothing against Pastor Sean. He's brilliant, and actually they do offer Wednesday night service where it goes a little deeper, and maybe I should try to find a way to be able to attend those classes too. But no, yeah, I enjoy that. I find Francine follows my lead on it.
Mm.
So if I say, yeah, I don't really feel like walking to church today, she'll be like, okay, let's not, you know. And that's part of dealing with people like myself. You have to be a kind of it tends to yeah, you tend to follow their lead, and I don't I don't feel like as if I'm doing a good enough job encouraging her to get to work or get to church. I guess. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
I
No
don't know
worries.
if I explained that very well.
No worries. No worries. So it sounds like you have some goals set, and that's good.
Well, that's part of it too. Is you'll go from where you think you're invincible, right? Like when I was
Mm-hmm.
passing out the resumes a couple weeks ago, I was passing out resumes, and I felt like, yeah, it doesn't matter what the task is, I can do it, or no problem, right?
Mhm.
And I got the job, and then I started
Congratulations.
doing it, and just your regular, oh, you forgot to put mustard on that sandwich. Even that much criticism, I don't hear just that criticism. I hear every criticism, I hear, Ross, you're no good piece of crap.
Mhm.
That's never going to amount to anything. And, I hear them all. And you forgot the mustard this time, right?
Mhm.
Um, and so I had a bit of a breakdown. And that's basically what led to, because the medical, whatever you call that,
Diagnosis,
the psychiatric
evaluation.
evaluation, they were scared that I may be suicidal, so they sent over a police officer to check on me, and a social worker, and that's basically what got the ball rolling. They took me to the Emerge.
MH.
Um, Finally got in touch with my doctor, and that's where they got the diagnosis there. And she recommends that this job, she says, you're going to be going through hell, and you'll probably inevitably quit because it's going to push your buttons, right? Everything's new, so you're going to be failing
Yeah.
until you get it right. And she says, that's going to push your buttons. Are you to a point where you can allow that to happen?
Mhm.
No.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to be written off as disabled and as disability, I guess.
Yeah.
But I guess this is basically an apology. I'm sorry I am the way I am. And we're working on it, I guess. Is it?
Life is definitely a road, isn't it?
It sure is.
It's a journey. Anyway, Ross, thanks for taking the time to talk to us today. We appreciate you so much coming on Road of Life podcast with John Miller. For anybody watching and listening here today, we would like to invite you to reach out if you wish to, if you have similar struggles, or if you would like to appear on Road of Life podcast. Feel free to reach out to us at Road of Life podcast at outlook.com. That's Road of Life podcast at outlook.com. Ross Allen, thanks once again.